Original mix. Nemesis B, Pegasus 2012. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive. And we're starting out pretty much with me giving my very recently created um, Traps Energy Defender a bit of a power level. And the reason why I'm actually starting out on the character who's doing the leveling is I really wanted to, since I've kind of made a habit of this, of absolutely destroying the live power developers for not being able to think things through, for not planning, for whatever they had in mind is not actually what happens. Well, here's the other primary case in point: kinetic melee. Kinetic Melee on Stalkers is liquid awesome. It is a devastatingly powerful set, even if you do not have an Invention Origin build. Kinetic Melee on other archetypes is a thundering facepalm. I mean, the kind of where you can imagine a thunder strike going off as every single demigod on the planet smacks their head at once. And the primary problem with kinetic melee isn't necessarily its damage type. It is mostly smashing energy, smashing energy, smashing energy, smashing energy, smashing energy, smashing energy, smashing energy. So it's pretty much nothing but the most heavily resisted uh, damage types out there. Rather, the problem actually is the power siphon. Now, on Stalkers, the Stalkers get the standard build up Assassin Strike. Also, with Stalker ATOs, they get chance for build up and they get chance for hide. Any Stalker On any Stalker set, this gives Stalkers the ability to go right back into hide from Assassin Strike and either pull off another power or Assassin Strike again. Now, with Kinetic Melee on Stalkers, this is liquid awesome because Concentrated Strike from hide automatically charges your build-up. So you can do Assassin Strike, you can do build-up, Assassin Strike, drop the hide on the ATO, Concentrated Strike, and you build up and dip, build up again, or you can just do Quick Strike, Smashing Blow, uh, then build up. And at this point, because of Concentrated Strike, Smashing Blow, Quick Strike, you're now back at full Assassin Focus, Assassin Strike, you're back in the hide, and you can just rinse and repeat over and over, just forcing criticals off of Concentrated Strike from hide. Now, you notice on this build that Quick Strike is not slotted out. Now, this is not the most recent build for this character. I do have a more recent one that uh, drops I think that drops, I think, Smashing Blow and just does Quick Strike and, or I'm not sure. Let me actually bring up that build and check because I had I a more practical build. Let me go look at it real quick. File open. Tanker, tanker can. Oh no, I won't biocan. Tanker biocan. The last time I touched this, was this a concept build? Maybe I put it in a concept folder. I think I wound up maybe having to think about keeping uh, concept, name, concept, change, fire rad. could have sworn I did a... Doesn't look like it. Or at least doesn't look like I saved it. Okay. Why didn't I ever save it? I think it's because there was no way out of... Alright. Let's go back and focus on the problems of kinetic melee for a second. How am I doing? Alright, we're actually doing pretty good. Alright, the problems with kinetic melee. If I go over power siphon, and we'll bring up the show detailed info here. It's plus 899% to hit for 20 seconds on self. So it lasts 20 seconds. Now, when we actually go and check the power information in game, Power Siphon adds a small bonus to hit, modifies your other kinetic melee attack power so they are capable of draining the strength of your enemies and adding that strength to you. This effect will stack up to 5 times. Okay, so if we go and we look at Quick Strike and show our detailed info here, Power Siphon does 7% minus damage and doesn't actually say how much damage we get back. Smashing Blow, Power Siphon with Power Siphon active. Repulsing Torrent, no Power Siphon. Burst does do Power Siphon. Focused Burst does do Power Siphon. Concentrated Strike does do Power Siphon. So one of the big problems here with kinetic melee on non-stalkers is that your Power Siphon is a ramp power. You only get the benefit if it lands and takes effect. And one of your attack powers doesn't contribute to the ramp. This means in order to maximize in 20 seconds, which is about the length it'll last, your powers, you pretty much have to cycle through for the maximum damage buildup. Concentrated Strike, Burst. And if you might notice, the animations are kind of long. And keep in mind, this can only stack for, and we'll go ahead and we'll bring up combat attributes and we'll go to base and we'll hide power sources and we'll look at damage bonus. Okay, monitor damage bonus. So we're up here. We're currently sitting at 36% damage bonus. And yes, I walked into this without optimizing for a fight, so I'm currently have Clarion active instead of Ageless Radial, and I currently have Melee active instead of Assault Radial, so not as damaging as this could be. Okay. Now, we can see here our flat damage bonus. We're currently in Assault mode, so we'll just quickly swap to Efficient to take as many variables out. Now we're looking at a base damage bonus of 11%. All right, we're going to hit Power Siphon, and you can see that Boost Up went off, so we have 91%. To try and stack, and you can see we've already fallen. Okay, we've made it up to 136%. We're staying at 130. Oh, we've fallen back down to 86%. Powers are going off, 61%. So, as you can see, cycling between the powers for only a brief few seconds are you actually at the power siphon maximum. And that was only 111%. It's 91% with when the Gaussian proc kicks in. Okay, so I made it. Can I get back to 141%? Cycle through my quick powers. 136%, 111%, 136%. Can I get over that? And that's the point. That your highest burst damage comes in kinetic melee on non-stalkers, comes from using a Gaussian proc, hoping that it goes off, and trying to land enough consecutive hits in a row, but even then, the highest you can top out is a 146 damage burst. Now, there's been several. Okay, and I probably need to, make it clear why this is such a bad thing. And to do that, all right, we're going to leave her here. And I think I've got enough levels. I'll him there. Okay, and swap back. All right, now that we're going to head out into Atlas Park. And I've gained some experience. How much have I gained? Says I'm up to experience level 20. So we're going to go talk to Liberty, and we're going to use the prototype build I've got in the background. Train up to next level 2. I took power. No, I took triage beacon. And oh wait, web grenade didn't get anything. Next level. And then I took stealth. So I concealment right at the top. And you can see here that although Mid-Sierra Reborn red lines infiltration, you can take it straight out. We'll go ahead and we'll take stealth for now since that's what the build is showing. All right, train up to next level. And next up was acid mortar. Train up to next level, acid mortar, got all of those. All right, next level I was taking sorcery, mystic flight. Train up to next level. Acid mortar was still all the way out. Train up to next level. All right, we took energy torrent. Yeah. Actually, we'll go ahead and take force field generator now, even though the build had it later. Okay, and then poison trap at 12. And then, all right, power burst, energy torrent. We'll do power burst. And we'll put some more slots into bolt, sniper blast, power burst. All right, we're at 18. This is when I took seeker drones. And they're getting an ATO, so they'll go out. Okay, I've unlocked aim. Okay. So there we are. I've just gone through and I've unlocked aim. I haven't I haven't buffed it up. I haven't done anything else with it. Again, this is on a defender, and we're going to go to damage bonus. Okay, to hit accuracy damage bonus. Okay, there you can see we've got the vigilance buff going on, and aim 70% on a secondary. This ain't build up. And the thing is with aim, it's added plus 50 strength to all damages for 10 seconds. Let's go look at a tank. for a second, just for comparison's sake, so that we have an apples to apples comparison. Another melee archetype, so we'll. All right, why are you being such a pain? Would it help if I just change zones? Yeah, we'll do that first. We'll change zones and then see if OBS will let me. Like, I'm kind of hung up on this for now, but we'll be coming back to this character. Okay, to King's Row. All right, there we go. And we'll just have the tanky tank. Okay, there we go. Some contact just popped up on level change. All right. And we'll bring a tank online. And now let's see if we can swap back over. Okay, there we go. There's another tanky tank. Now this one is Psy Shield. So to make it apples to apples, we'll just conveniently turn all of those off. We'll do combat attributes, hide power sources, damage bonus. All right, our damage bonuses are roughly equivalent, single digit. So let's hit concentration. 178. And that's really what I wanted to show, is that a standard tank hitting the build-up power doesn't have to ramp. They get the maximum benefit straight off. And so here's what the build looked like. And as you can see, not quite complete. I didn't ever get around to plussing up some of these powers. And then we look at concentration. It's plus 80% strength to all damage. It does have the Gaussian proc, plus 31% to hit for 10 seconds on self. So 10 seconds, stronger damage, stronger to hit buff. And that's really kind of the point to be made in regard to kinetic melee, in that you have to ramp the power up, which cool idea, but you have a very limited window and then it falls back down. And like I said, it wouldn't be so bad if every single power contributed to the power siphon, but one of your primary powers, repulsing torrent, let's double check that, repulsing torrent doesn't contribute anything at all. And that's a really big problem because you get this power early on. You have all these other powers that don't contribute at all, and they have almost aggressively long animation times. Does it give me the animation to activation time? 80.83, activation time 1.2, repulsing torrent 2 seconds, uh, power siphon, uh, activation time 1.93 seconds, burst 2.67 seconds, focus burst 2 seconds, concentrated type 2 seconds. So most of the powers are taking over 2 seconds to animate. Very long animation that you are buried in. And one of your powers simply does not contribute at all to your damage boost. You can benefit from the damage boost, but to build it, you have to lay off using Repulsing Torrent completely. Even if it's an AoE power that does have a decent range and lets you hit a lot of enemies, it doesn't do anything. And if you are using a tertiary power, in this case I've got Fireball, even when you boost and straight out a gate, you're doing less damage with your tertiary powers. You have to ramp into them, and that means you're limited and stuck to the quickest powers you have to cast, which are Quick Strike and Smashing Blow. So you can reliably Quick Strike Smashing Blow, and everything else is a really long time to cast. Now, how to fix kinetic melee? There's been lots of suggestions over the years on how to fix it. The primary is to make Power Siphon a toggle. Just as you are attacking, you are always debuffing the the enemy's ability to buff damage out, and that you are always stacking damage upon yourself. And that seems like a fairly reasonable thing to do. The power is not the power. You are deliberately sacrificing power and creating conditions. And one of the things that I brought up before in the case of masterminds is masterminds are great for limited connectivity players. If you are a mastermind and you lose connection for a few minutes, whoop-de-doo. If you lose the connection for a few seconds, it's great for cellular networks. It's great for Wi-Fi networks. Is masterminds are inherently, because they are so much a system-based architecture, and that the system does so much of the actual server does so much of the processing on the pets, that a mastermind can simply, well, be detached from the game. And that's actually a really good thing for someone who has network connectivity problems, or um, is on a connection that's less than desirable. Say, like they're at a hotel, or they're somewhere else, or they're, out in rural areas where there's very limited connectivity. Masterminds are great. They let people get into the game and play. And so with Kinetic Melee, it's very much network dependent. If you get any kind of lag, any kind of network connectivity problems, and Kinetic Melee instantly goes from just slightly under damaging to you're one of the weakest sets, because you can't time your attacks to ramp your one single damage boost that you get. Now, I took Bio on Kinetic Melee because Bio makes everything look good, and part of this was a proof of concept that even one of the worst performing, both from a technical sense and from a balance perspective, sets can still be more performative on Bio armor. In that case, it's very much been proven true. All right. So now that okay, some of the other suggestions to fix. I know some people have suggested just making it a standard build up. And no, I like the idea of a ramped power or a toggle power. But either the ramp has to include every single power, where every attack, where every secondary, where your DNA, if you have if you have an armor set that affects enemies, it has to contribute to Power Siphon. So Power Siphon, when clicked, it should affect DNA Siphon, it should affect Parasitic Aura, it should affect Genetic Contamination, it should affect Melt Armor, it should affect Ring of... Everything else should contribute And yeah, I realize that's a huge amount of work, but that way you don't punish the player for not using a specific set of powers for what's supposed to be an all over damage boost. Okay. Now, while I've kind of got this in here and working on it, let's swap back. Okay. And there we go. And real quickly, uh, since our trap defender here took triage beacon, there's triage beacon, acid mortar, force field generator, poison trap. We've actually got all the primary powers that we got. So we're going to float up a little bit and triage beacon. All right, triage beacon, you've got to be kind of on the ground to use it. Acid mortar, got to be force field generator. Really can't cast it in the air. Have to be close to the ground in order to cast it. Okay, poison trap. Can't cast it from the air. Alright, have to be on the ground to cast poison trap. What about seeker drones? Alright. Seeker drones can be cast from pretty much anywhere. Alright, and as you can see, the force field generator does take a moment to catch up, but does float and fly. Alright, so that did kind of answer some practical questions about flight is not very conducive to using. Well, actually, let's check that. And we could do teleport. Alright, and even if we use teleport to get close to the ground, it's still giving us target in air. Okay. So we now know that flight is not really working for this. We really need to pick a different travel power set. Oops. Alright. And that experimentation, speed of sound we know comes with it, but adrenal booster doesn't buy us anything. Maybe speed. Let's think about super speed. And we need leaping. Need combat jumping for air control. And we can probably make use of hasten. And we still got we've got one power left. We've ran out of pool powers to use. We do have a few slots now. Let's go ahead and That was the other thing. I know that I'm also now capped on 10% regeneration. We'll do that. And alright, since we're on the ground now, we do have to worry a little bit about knockback. We've already got some knockback protection there. We can pick up a little bit more knockback protection from Gladiator's armor. Resist endurance recharge. And we'll actually do trip mine and slots enhancements. Slots, auto arrange all slots. We could also pick some up there, but I need to free up a slot. Easiest place to free up about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, that would be the easiest way to do it. Get the knockback protection in here instead of in here. One, two, three, four, 5. And that are slag off. What can I get in 4 slots? Look at energy torrent. Yeah, but not a whole lot of damage in there. What do I got here? Defense AoE, defense fire cold. What am I? Okay, I am nowhere near fire cold. Well, generator on. I'm actually there. Hmm. I just picked up an extra luck at the gambler, so what am I looking at on hasten? Alright, with hasten turned on, I'm barely there. Incarnates, agility. Yeah. Nice to know. I'm into Smash Lethal with agility. Without having to use force field generator, so that's good to know. Huh. Now my cat has decided to join the party. Alright. Oof. It's giving up the anti-knock there. Slots, auto range all slots. Can I pick up a... Or at least I can, but not... And the thing is, what I'm about to do is an entirely valid build in game. Okay. And the thing is, you can use a respec in game to get extra slots into slot 49. So this is a valid respec build, but not a valid level up to build. And I'm not really sure. And the way I can make it a valid level up build is to do that. Okay, even that fussing at me. Slots out of range. Okay, there we go. There's a valid leveling up build, and you could respec and get hasten earlier.